Welcome back to Eliances Heroes, where heroes in business align. To be part of our super community and find out more about Eliances, visit www.Eliances.com. Now, back to our super host, David Kogan, founder of Eliances.
What incredible. Again, we started off the show with the WWE actress Lisa Marie, and we just had on the You Break, I Fix franchise founders, over 300 stores now. YouBreakIFix.com. Later on, we're going to be ending the show with the principal dancer, are you ready? For the American Ballet Theater. Now, our next interview, people are heroes in various ways. Some create, build, and employ. They make a difference in their community. And our next hero is doing that like no other. And make sure you listen real carefully. There are over 700,000 people in the U.S. now living with a primary brain and central nervous system tumor. That's nearly 17,000 people will lose the battle with this year with a primary and central nervous system brain tumor. And our next hero, he is the CEO of National Brain Tumor Society, David Arons, who could be reached at braintumor.org. Now, I'm very familiar with what you do, but I want our listeners to hear from you is, what is the primary main mission of the National Brain Tumor Society?
Thank you, David, and thank you to all your listeners. The primary mission of National Brain Tumor Society is, simply put, to find a cure, and in doing so, to reduce the burden of this set of diseases on as many Americans as possible.
Why is it, though, that we're hearing more and more about it? I mean, growing up, it wasn't something that was so, and I hate to use the word common, but it just seems as time goes on, because, you do so much in the community. And just to let listeners know, is as I participate in the Brain Tumor Walk, and unfortunately, it just grows every year. And that's because more and more people are affected by it. What's happening out there, David?
Well, what's interesting is really the incidence rate of brain tumors, or the number of people with the brain tumor, is not really growing overall as a population. It's just that we're hearing about it more and more because of quicker diagnoses, where people are more connected than they ever have been before through social media, through their own networks. And so in any area of rare disease like brain tumors, you get connected quickly, and people hear about it. The other part is brain tumors it can be a horrific disease, but it can also be something that you can live with productively for a very long period of time. In fact, most brain tumors are benign or non-cancerous. A smaller portion are cancerous, and even a smaller portion are these highly deadly forms of cancer. But we're hearing about it more and more as we have a more connected society, and people want to help each other.
Now, David, and again, we're talking with David Arons, the CEO of braintumor.org. Now, I know you must get this question a million times, and I hate to ask it, but I have to ask it because I know our listeners want to know, and I know that it just seems to probably change by changes, is when will we find a cure? How are we any closer than we've been a month ago, a year ago, 3 years ago?
It's a great question. We've learned more about how brain tumors grow and function in the last 10 years than we did in the previous 500 years, thanks to new technology, new ways of understanding cancer in this whole molecular era of medicine. We're learning about brain tumors at a really rapid pace that is giving research a lot more hope than ever before. I'm confident that it's possible we'll find a cure in our lifetime, and what we want to do is, like other diseases, at least make brain tumors a chronic, manageable condition and not a death sentence as it is for some brain tumor patients.
David, what can our listeners do now to support braintumor.org? Because I'm sure, and I know for a fact, there are many people listening who have been touched by this, who may be having a tumor now, maybe having a loved one, a father, a brother, a mother, a child? What can they do to further help support and speed up that process of finding a cure?
Well, number one, they can support research, support innovative research like the kind that we're funding at National Brain Tumor Society. Number two, they can get involved and get involved in research. If they're eligible for a clinical trial or if they want to explore clinical trials, to learn more about it. And that way they can maybe find a drug that gives them hope but also help research along. Number three, they can become an advocate with National Brain Tumor Society or other brain tumor groups and join forces with other patients and caregivers like them to raise awareness and to mobilize and to encourage Washington and Capitol Hill, for that matter, to pass policies that improve the lives for brain tumor patients.
And you're listening to Eliances Heroes with me, David Kogan. Be a hero and go to the only place where entrepreneurs align. Be part of the community, Eliances.com. That's ELIANCES.com, because we're talking with David Arons, the CEO of Brain Tumor. You can reach him actually at braintumor.org. And he is the CEO of Brain Tumor Society America. David, why did you get involved and become the CEO of such really an incredible, and I'm going to say it, it's an incredible organization? Because I've been there, I've seen it, and I know what you guys do.
Well, David, it's personal. My father died of cancer, and I wanted revenge against cancer. I've had friends that have died of brain tumors, and I want revenge as well. I want to go after cancer, including brain tumors, with everything I've got, and bring everybody else with me, including the full power of National Brain Tumor Society and our whole community. I think we've got to take it to this disease with our 2/5, a lot of money, and everything we have in the form of research. So join us, help us. Let's go win this.
Now, you're also the author of several books: Power and Policy, a Funder's Guide to Advocacy and Civic Participation, Strengthening Nonprofit Advocacy, also a voice for nonprofits. What are a couple secrets you can share, though, about operating a nonprofit and some of the things that have made you so successful to be able to lead the organization?
Well, thanks for the question. When you lead a nonprofit, you really have to know that, number one, be honest. Be honest about what you're doing, where the money's going, what you're up to, how well it's going. Don't give anybody baloney. The second is be totally transparent about how things are going and what's happening inside the organization. And number three, make sure you're focusing. You can't do it all. You've got to focus. And so we're very focused, National Brain Tumor Society, on advancing innovative research to go find a cure and to make the journey of a brain tumor patient easier than it has ever been before, knowing that it's a tough road. We're trying to help people as they try to survive.
You were also selected to help advise the National Cancer Moonshot, being led by former Vice President Joe Biden, and unfortunately, his son, right, who got a brain tumor?
Yeah, unfortunately, his son, Beau Biden.
What is the National Cancer Moonshot for those who may not know, and what was the experience like?
Thanks. The National Cancer Moonshot was an effort to ask a whole number of cancer research and scientific experts, as well as non-scientists, for their very best ideas on how we could advance cancer research and make 10 years' worth of progress in just 5 years, much like President Kennedy wanted to get to the moon in 10 years back in the 60s. And so those experts came together and identified particular challenges in cancer research and particular projects and recommendations that they thought could make cancer research go much faster and accomplish 10 years' worth of progress in 5 years. And now the National Institutes of Health are funding the projects that came out of that experience.
Oh, incredible. And David, I'm going to say something I've never said on the air before, and I'm going to make a plea. And I've never made a plea before to any of our heroes. And the plea is for you to please continue to lead the National Brain Tumor Society and help to raise funds. And our listeners, again, make sure you go to braintumor.org, because it's something that, like he said, David said, is to get revenge on that and to be able to help by helping the organization, because unfortunately people do get it. We've got a little less than a minute left. And David, what do you think is maybe some of the best way for someone, and particularly children, to act now and make a difference in the world like you are?
We hope that kids get involved, and kids should really know, and their parents, that brain tumors is unfortunately the leading cause of cancer death in children age 0 to 19, which makes it, public enemy number one is brain tumors for kids. So kids should get involved. Start getting involved in philanthropy. Give a little bit of money to causes that you care about. Start volunteering at an early age, because if you do even a little bit of both, you're going to develop these as habits of helping to build stronger communities and a greater country than we have today.
David, real quick, you mentioned that your father passed away of cancer. What do you think he would say to you now, knowing what you're doing and the position that you're in?
I think he'd say keep going, and do it with integrity, do it with rigor, and make sure you're trying to create a big tent so others can be involved.
Well, David, you definitely keep going. You lead an organization whose mission is helping others in their darkest hours and giving them direction, hope, and support. That's a hero. David Arons, CEO of National Brain Tumor Society. Go to braintumor.org. David Kogan with Eliances, and when we return, the principal dancer for American Ballet Theater.